prospects for driving a robust insurance industry in Nigeria came to the fore at the 44th Center for Value and Leadership Colloquium in Lagos. It was also an event set aside to honor Professor Jo Irukwu, Senior Advocate of Nigeria and the foremost insurance law scholar in the country who turned 84. The CVL Leadership Colloquium brought together elder statesmen and leaders of thought across various fields in the country. In his opening remarks, Professor Pat Utomi, founder and CEO of the CVL, shared the essence of the forum.
We created this series, the Leader Without Title Tribute Colloquium series, to hold a colloquium around a subject in the area that the person that was being celebrated played in society. And we saw that also as an opportunity to build up information about sectors of our economy, sectors of our society, at the same time as providing example to young people from the lives of people who did outstanding work in the course of their time of being. And today is a great pleasure, a true honor for us to use the example of the life of Professor Jo Irukwu to focus on the insurance industry, an enormously important sector which, in my view, is still far, far, far from its potential and the difference it can make in Nigeria, but which has been built by the sheer perseverance and effort of a few, like Professor Irukwu, to the stage that things are today.
Seasoned panelists shared their perspectives on the state of the Nigerian insurance industry and the opportunities for its growth and development.
Insurance is the vehicle through which you create national savings. As it were. So that national savings which you create, therefore, helps to fund and provide liquidity within the economy. The other extension of it is the pension side, which is where you provide the actual capital and funding required for your infrastructural development. So from the point of insurance, looked at it from a narrow perspective, you don't look at it like just life insurance product, vehicle insurance products, from a very, very minimal level. It is far much more fundamental than that. And so therein lies the question of where we are today. The data from NICOM as far back as December, and if I can record, I think it was Deputy Commissioner Thomas in charge of the technical division, who said we have only 2 million policyholders in Nigeria. If you have 2 million policyholders, it's not so different from the actual number of people who are actually investors in your capital market. Because the total number of investors in your capital market, discounting the multiple accounts held by individuals, will be less than 4 million. So just imagine for a moment that your whole capital market is comprised only of 4 million people. The whole policyholders in your economy is about 2 million people. The tendency for you is to say, oh, they're underbanked, or maybe you are actually exaggerating your figures of people who are actually gainfully employed in your economy. So there is a linkage between the quality of your data, in which case you are acting with, your economic policies, and your ability to actually fund the whole country. If it is true that corruption is the most pervasive problem in Nigeria, if it is true that there is a lot of death, killings, crimes, social upheavals, if it is true that the general risk perception of this country is high, there is no reason why there is no correlation in that with your ability for your insurance industry to be on the rise. In fact, there couldn't have been a better situation for your insurance sector than the calamity that you are currently experiencing right now.
If we recognize that Nigerians would ordinarily want to take up insurance policies, why can't we, as a people, as government, come up with policies giving the importance of insurance to the society, not just as a form of prepare for to indemnify the insured in the event of a loss, but most importantly, as a national savings tool. If we impose compulsory insurance on a couple of things, which I remember the last government was working on, They wanted to impose compulsory insurance on residential homes, commercial properties, a couple of things that made a lot of people to go and make investment in insurance. I know a lot of people who own insurance companies today that made those investments on the understanding that the government is going to impose compulsory insurance that will allow for quick growth of that sector. So if we want to grow the insurance industry, we must recognize that Nigerians will not willingly take up cover. One, they don't understand it. Two, they do not really believe that the process of indemnification actually takes place. Apart from cleaning up the industry and improving on some of the corporate governance standards, but we must impose compulsory insurance on some of the key elements of people's social life and total and assets, so that we'll be able to mobilize that capital that is required for economic development.
What went wrong here, I think, is connected with our own attitude to life. Because maybe money is so easy here that people don't look at replacements. Because insurance is simply a mechanism for transfer of risks. And everybody knows that risk in everything you do has a risk factor. Some of the risks you can pay yourself, some you can transfer. Even not all of them can be transferred through insurance. You must manage your risk one way or the other. People have done a lot of things in Nigeria. There are bigger companies now in terms of even capital, what it was before. People even have more cash now than they had before. And there are a few new products, like even burial insurance. The issue is, why are Nigerians not taking insurance? And I think it has to do with your attitude and your replacement values. Because I insure my house in the village. My brother doesn't insure his own. I know why I insure my house, because I cannot afford to rebuild that house today. When I talk to him, he said, oh, well, he should insure it. And it's not expensive. Why didn't he insure it? So I don't think our problem is simply as simple as that. Because if you say it's awareness, I can tell you that the population, the middle class, is aware of insurance. Majority of Nigerians are in the uneducated, and they're not aware of insurance. But what about the middle class? Are you insuring your own assets? Is it not only when the bank is involved with lending that you insure your house? I know that you don't borrow money to build your house, but why are you not protecting that asset? Is it because you can replace it easily, or what? So until we hit back to the what we call personal lines, the ones that affect individuals, including life assurance, I don't think we're going to make any progress in this matter.
What we have said is that people don't seem to know the benefits and how to go about insurance in this country. Let them know. Let's get them aware that there is benefit for insuring your risk or placing your risk with insurance companies in Nigeria. And if you have problem with claims, these are the ways to go. The Nigerian Insurance Association has its own claims bureau that you can report to, so that they can call their members who have not met up with claims, so that they can call them to order. But a lot of us who insure and who have problems do not know of that route. Insurance protection of policyholder is very important to the regulator and to we in the insurance industry.
Highlights of the event was a presentation of the special plaque to appreciate the leadership of Professor Jo Irukwu and the cutting of his 84th birthday cake. Professor Jo Irukwu shares his experience in the insurance sector and what the regulators and operators should focus on in growing the industry.
I've spent my life working, writing, and teaching the values that would make the insurance industry great. We haven't yet got there, but we're well on the way. We have built the first set of Nigerian professionals in all aspects of insurance, but we need to improve on the environment in which they operate. We have to make the average Nigerian appreciate the value of insurance. In my view, and from everything I have learned in insurance, the insurance concept is the most ingenious creation of the human mind as far as the problem of risks are concerned. We live in a world dominated by risks. Whatever we're doing, we're surrounded by risks. And unfortunately, although insurance has been around for more than 2,000 years, we have not yet fully embraced it as a nation. Smaller nations have done better than we have done, and that is a pity. But we have to encourage every Nigerian to appreciate the value of insurance and take advantage of it. I think we're well on the way. Insurance is intangible, and Nigerians don't patronize things that are intangible. But we have to change that attitude, and we have to work hard on it. And insurance is so well connected with the economy. Because our economy has suffered some setbacks in recent years, it has affected the growth of the insurance industry as it has affected other areas. But we hope that by God's help and with the help of every Nigerian, we will embrace the insurance concept. We have to work hard on it.
Professor Utomi described Professor Irukwu as a great role model for young Nigerians and also charts a pathway for the insurance industry.
Two things. First of all, there was the person of Professor Irukwu, who we needed to use as an example to showcase to young people what having the right vision in life can do for you. And there was a specific case of the insurance industry, a very, very important sector of our economy that needs to be made to play at its promised level. If we achieve the promise of insurance, it will transform investment in our country, because the pool of savings that comes from insurance can lead to infrastructure development, can lead to venture capital, and significant growth for the economy. Something that we are losing today because the insurance industry is playing below par, if you will. So we thought that combination would be a healthy one, and we tried to put it together. I think there are several things that must happen in my view. I have been trying to encourage the industry for more than 30 years to do group advertising, and I try to give the example of what orange growers have done in America, what milk producers have done in the UK, for example, in trade advertising, and that would help Nigerians get to some sense for it. But there's also a need for policy to support some kind of forced savings that will come from insurance. It was done with motor that's lived in the breach mainly, but I think that there are ways that you can encourage people to have life insurance, that you can participate in certain kinds of initiatives as a company, for example, if you don't have a group life insurance policy for your people. And people will then, from being literally forced not in that way, but in the sense of policy, begin to orient themselves, and it will become a settled habit of community. It is when it becomes a settled habit of community that you truly have institutional play that will lead to insurance contributing as it should in our country.
With a population of over 180 million, the Nigerian insurance industry has a great opportunity to grow and contribute immensely to the economy. This will be achieved through an enabling policy environment, innovative products, increased awareness, and an efficient operating system.